Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Mr. Ritz, you are a political activist, aren't you?
I would not consider myself that at all, Senator.
Okay. When you were sworn in as U.S. Attorney, you gave a speech, didn't you?
I did.
Okay. Here's what you said. I'm going to quote from your speech. But you should know that justice for me is about more than putting people in prison. For me, it's also about who votes and how hard it is to cast that vote. It's about where pipelines go. It's about where bus routes go. Justice is about whether people in all zip codes can get along, whether women have access to health care, whether citizens have affordable housing or clean drinking water. Sometimes those are Department of Justice issues. Sometimes they are not. But for me, they're all justice issues.
Hey folks, welcome back to Freedom Forge, the channel where we dig into the truth, cut through the media spin, and defend American values. If you love freedom, the Constitution, and holding government accountable, you're in the right place. Make sure to hit that subscribe button, give us a like, and let's get into today's must-see Senate hearing.
Did I read that accurately?
I believe so, Senator.
Okay. Did you really remove the Tennessee state flag from your conference room?
Senator, I appreciate you asking about this again. As the chief federal law enforcement...
Welcome. Did you do it?
So I felt it was fundamentally inappropriate when I gave press conferences and similar statements to the public to indicate or suggest somehow that I spoke for the state, which I don't under our system of federalism.
Are you embarrassed to be from Tennessee?
Not at all, Senator. I am from Tennessee, grew up as a public school kid in Tennessee.
But you were embarrassed to have the Tennessee flag.
That's not it at all, Senator.
Okay. You have a history of lying to your professional colleagues, don't you?
That's not true, Senator.
Okay. Do you know a former public defender named Stephen Shankman?
I knew him to a degree. I'm not sure we ever had any cases together. I knew who he was, yes.
Well, in a private email, not meant for public consumption, to another one of your professional colleagues, this is what Mr. Shankman said, talking about your lying. He said, "It is unfortunate that this is not the first, second, third, or whatever occasion that this sort of thing has occurred. But everyone should be aware of this unfortunate pattern of behavior. You should be aware," he said to the other lawyer, before the other lawyer dealt with you. "Your client should be aware, and you should proceed with extreme caution." Was Mr. Shankman lying?
To the degree he suggested that I acted unethically, that was not accurate, and it wasn't in any occasion, much less on numerous occasions.
Okay, let's talk about this case, United States v. Von Rico Weber, which you claim to not remember. But before I do that, a few seconds ago, you lied to Senator Hawley, didn't you?
I'm under oath, Senator. I did not lie.
You said you have no knowledge of any complaint, professional complaint made against you, didn't you?
I said I have no knowledge of any sort of formal complaint, and he read from a letter that I don't believe I ever saw.
And you were shocked. You
If
never heard of that before.
If there were a formal complaint, that, as I said, I had not known about that.
Okay. You were amazed.
I don't recall any of that.
Any?
I recall this Mr. Weber's
You have
case.
amnesia about it.
Again, I am unaware of any formal complaint or investigation. Certainly was not.
You believe in the Tooth Fairy?
Senator, I don't.
You believe in the Easter Bunny? Now, in this case, United States v. Von Rico Weber, you lied to the defense counsel. And the defense counsel then had to go before the court and withdraw a plea for his counsel. And a complaint was filed, about which you apparently have amnesia. And the Justice Department replaced you. and the lawyer from the Justice Department who replaced you, this is what the lawyer said. The new attorney said about you. Said these allegations against Mr. Ritz are, quote, serious, and it is taken so seriously, referring to the Department of Justice, by our office. That is one of the reasons I'm here, and Mr. Ritz will be more than likely be taken off this case because of those allegations. End quote. You lied to Senator Hawley, didn't you?
I didn't lie to the defense counsel in that case. I didn't lie today, Senator.
Now, my good friend Senator Ossoff asked you if you'd follow the law. And you said, yeah. But if you're lying to us today, we're stuck with you, aren't we?
Senator, I have not lied and did not lie in that case.
You just have amnesia.
I did not lie in that case. There was a written plea agreement with the entire agreement of the parties.
If you believe that, you believe Elvis is alive and running a small bait stand on Lake Erie. Shame on you.
Today, we've got a real doozy. We're reacting to the Senate Judiciary hearing where Senator John Kennedy grilled Mr. Ritz, a Biden judicial nominee and former U.S. attorney, about his record, his honesty, and his real agenda. And let me tell you, folks, this is exactly why we need tough senators like Kennedy in Washington. He asked the questions the mainstream media never will. Right out of the gate, Senator Kennedy goes for the jugular. Are you a political activist? And what does Ritz say? Oh, I wouldn't consider myself that at all, Senator. Yeah, sure. But then Kennedy reads from Ritz's own swearing-in speech. You can't make this up. Justice isn't just about putting criminals in prison. It's about who votes, how hard it is to vote, where pipelines go, whether women have access to health care, and on and on. Folks, that's the progressive agenda. Plain as day. He's turning justice into a catch-all for every left-wing issue under the sun. Let me ask you, do you want judges worrying about bus routes, pipelines, or affordable housing? Or do you want them upholding the law and the Constitution? This is what the left does. They redefine words, they expand government power, and they push their ideology into every part of our lives, even the courtroom. Now, this is where it gets really telling. Kennedy asks Mr. Ritz why he took down the Tennessee state flag from his conference room. Is he embarrassed to be from Tennessee? Ritz denies it, but listen to his answer. He says it was inappropriate to suggest he speaks for the state. Folks, I'm proud of my state. Why would a public official be ashamed to show where he's from? It's another example of these so-called public servants trying to distance themselves from traditional American identity. And then we get to the meat of the hearing. Kennedy brings the receipts. He's quoting former public defenders, reading emails that warn colleagues to proceed with extreme caution around Ritz because of his so-called pattern of behavior. These are not just political attacks. These are serious accusations from people who know Ritz professionally. If you're being considered for a lifetime appointment as a judge, your honesty is everything. The American people need to trust that you'll be fair, impartial, and truthful. But Ritz? He just dodges, denies, and claims he can't remember. I have no knowledge. I have amnesia. I don't recall. Folks, if you believe that, as Kennedy said, you believe Elvis is alive and running a bait stand on Lake Erie. Let's talk about this Rico Weber case. Kennedy says Ritz lied to opposing counsel, got caught, and was removed from the case by the Department of Justice. Ritz denies everything, but listen, if DOJ had to replace him and the new attorney says the allegations are serious, that means something went wrong. And yet, Ritz sits there, under oath, acting like it's all news to him. Kennedy's sarcasm is perfect. Do you believe in the Tooth Fairy? The Easter Bunny? That's how ridiculous these denials sound. The left wants us to accept every excuse, every claim of I don't remember, even when the facts are staring us in the face. And of course, right on cue, Senator Booker steps in to run interference. It's not uncommon for complaints to be filed and not notified. Okay, maybe, but here's the bottom line. The pattern matters. If multiple professionals say you have an honesty problem and you can't give a straight answer, you shouldn't be anywhere near the federal bench. Here's what this all comes down to, folks. The left is trying to stack the courts with activists, people who see justice as whatever fits their political agenda, not what the law says. They want judges who will legislate from the bench, push for social change, and undermine the will of the people. We need more senators like Kennedy, who aren't afraid to ask tough questions and demand real answers. We need judges who respect the Constitution, who are proud of their state, and who tell the truth, even when it's uncomfortable. If you care about the future of our country, if you care about the rule of law, you need to pay attention to these hearings. We can't let the radical left take over our courts. We need to demand integrity, honesty, and patriotism from our judges. If you agree, hit that like button, subscribe, and share this video with your friends. Let's keep fighting for America, one truth at a time. Thanks for watching. God bless you, and God bless the United States of America.